All right, let's turn to the UK now, where Boris Johnson's hold on the Prime Ministership is back in the headlines as the Partygate scandal continues to dog him. According to senior officials, the parliamentary report into the lockdown-breaking parties at number 10, known as the Grey Report, is so damning that Boris Johnson will have little choice, we're told, but to resign. And it comes only a few days after it was revealed that Tory rebels are potentially plotting to overthrow the Prime Minister in the next few weeks. Joining me now to get his take on this and a few other issues coming out of Europe is an old sparring partner of mine, UK political strategist, and for a time special advisor to PM Julia Gillard, John McTernan, who joins me now from Melbourne. Well, welcome to Credlin, John. Delighted to have you on the show. It's always a pleasure. Fair to say, the British public are really outraged here. Not just that Boris Johnson did the wrong thing, of course he did, but they went through so much sacrifice themselves. Melburnians understand that, given how long their lockdowns were. Can he survive this crisis?
Look, it's a good question, and it's great to be on the show. The question is, will his party get rid of him? And so far, they haven't. And the crime the Prime Minister has committed is one rule for him, one rule for the rest of us. And that goes to the heart of politics, doesn't it? It goes to the heart of, are you using power for yourself or for other people? And that feeling of hypocrisy. So 68% of British voters think the PM is a liar, a hypocrite, and should resign. In the face of that, it's really odd that Tory MPs haven't moved yet. And the idea being floated in the papers that the Sue Gray report will sink him, he's a shameless man. A shameless man cannot be shamed into any resignation. He has to be taken out by his cabinet. And so far, they've not shown any steel at all.
I guess the issue is, yes, he's a bit of a Houdini. He has been all the way through his political career, but this issue is personal because almost every British family will have a story of deprivation out of a lockdown, farewelling someone who was dying, not being able to be there and witness the birth of a child. It's not an esoteric, far-off thing. It's real. We saw a Conservative MP in the Parliament, Mark Harper, tell the PM very bluntly he's no longer worthy. Let's have a listen.
I regret to say that we have a Prime Minister who broke the laws that he told the country they had to follow, hasn't been straightforward about it, and is now going to ask the decent men and women on these benches to defend what I think is indefensible. I'm very sorry to have to say this, but I no longer think he is worthy of the great office that he holds.
We've also got that scandal around Rishi Sunak, the UK equivalent to our Treasurer, if those haven't followed that as well. I guess the problem maybe is that they don't know who will replace Johnson. That's why he's still there.
Yeah, look, I think the Mark Harper charge is absolutely the right one, which is somebody who breaks the law and is fined by the police for breaking the law. How can they reasonably stay as Prime Minister? And the real answer in the Tory party, in the Tory caucus, is they don't have anybody more charismatic than him on the benches. And you know, what they say in politics, you can't replace a somebody with a nobody. And Rishi Sunak was puffed up a lot, but he wasn't really the match of Johnson. It turns out his billionaire wife, who lives in a taxpayer-funded flat, number 11 Downing Street, she was claiming non-domicile status for her taxation purposes. So how can you be domiciled, living in a flat paid for by the taxpayer, and also, but for tax purposes, not paying tax like taxpayers? So there's hypocrisy at the heart of the government and weakness of strong figures. Boris Johnson was, he was chosen by the Tories for a reason, to get Brexit done. He was also chosen because he was the most charismatic figure they had. They've still not managed to find someone to replace him. And while they get stuck in the headlights, I think voters just waiting there, sitting on their porches, as we'd understand it here, waiting with their baseball bats. Whenever the election is, I think it gets worse every day that the PM stays, that Prime Minister Johnson stays in position.